Hello everyone, Doc here. Today I wanted to bring you the results of my 100 trial roulettes done as a level 90 gunbreaker. Obvious spoiler warning, but as an additional disclaimer, I do not have any of the Endwalker trials unlocked, and I am missing the Diamond Weapon trial from Shadowbringers. Going into this, I had posed the question, is there any consistency to the trials that we get? It feels like I get one or two fairly often, and it makes me dread doing them. So, without further ado, let's look at the results. Since there's a lot of information here, let's break this down one by one. The first piece of interest are the number of trials completed for each expansion. With 4 expansions at my disposal, it's a fairly close split of 25 each, plus or minus 5, which would indicate some form of pattern. Perhaps even choosing an expansion from the 8 people who queued, assuming none specifically queued for a select piece of content, and then selecting a random trial from their available pool of options. The second piece of interesting data is there are 1 or 2 trials from each expansion that have far more traffic than others. AR has Thornmarch, Heavensward has Bismarck and Nidhogg, Stormblood has Tsukiyomi and Byakuo, and Shadowbringers has the Warrior of Light and Ruby Weapon. This evidence may suggest that part of the conditions of getting a trial may search for the highest eye-level story trial available for the players within the roulette, or choose an optional trial such as Byakuo. Though I was not keeping count, I would say that about a quarter of the trials that I had run had players who were watching cutscenes, which would nullify the theory just presented. Considering I had gotten so many seats of sacrifice, far more than any other trial, with the second most popular trial being 4 behind, which was Thornmarch, I would have to assume there's some form of smart algorithm that determines what you get. Additionally, something that I would like to add is that for a very long time I had E1, which is the first floor of Eden, available to run and did not have the drive to do it. While this is a normal raid, for 2 years I had it unlocked while running roulettes, many of which I was level 80 or above to be able to actually get it, and I did not get it a single time. This suggests that anytime you see a player watching a cutscene for a roulette, they have specifically queued for said piece of content. Not only that, but I believe that while queuing for roulettes, they specifically target content you have done already and not content you have yet to complete. As this is something that still perplexes me, if you have any theories on how this might work, drop a comment down below. I read and reply to every comment I get, and we could get closer to understanding how these roulettes actually function. Something I was experimenting on the side as I was going through these roulettes was how often do tanks get commendations. The hypothesis was that tanks who positioned the boss well, or were upbeat, or funny, would get more commendations naturally. To ensure I could soak up as many as possible, I would stay until the final person had left. Unfortunately, I did not get the exact amount that I had started with, but I had begun with roughly 1,320 commendations. In addition to the 60 normal raids I had also completed, which equates to a total of 160 duties, I had accumulated about 140 commendations. This comes out to be 1 commendation per duty, though many times I would receive 0 comms. There were other times which would make up for it, where I had gotten 4+. While not what I had expected, this is far more generous than DPS, who, from my understanding, will receive no commendations for the majority of the time they participate in content. With the numbers and theories out of the way, I'd like to share some of the noteworthy trials I had gotten. In 100 roulettes, you're destined to find some memes, and memes I found. First notable one is my 11th seat of sacrifice. Up until this point, we had a single wipe. Well, we had one wipe but it was due to someone failing the QTE and then understanding how to resolve it. The 11th one we had wiped a total of 5 times, 4 of which were the result of failing the QTE. The 5th Limitless Blue that we had, which is Bismarck, we had nearly wiped because the healers and summoner had stacked during Thunderhead, dying, and it was just me and a bard at the very end killing the Corona. The 6th Ruby Weapon I had got, we had a total of 3 dancers, 2 of which were jacked, half-naked Roganin males, and one of them had DP'd, or dance partnered, me. Intentionally sus wording. The 2nd Chrysalis I had gotten, which is Nabrialis, the Asian from ARR that you seem to always get. It was my 98th trial done, and the first time I had gotten him was my 6th attempt of doing roulettes. My 7th Nidhogg, we had a moment where it was just a white mage alive during phase 3 of Nidhogg. Everybody was dead for one reason or another, mostly people dying to very stupid things, and the healer had the opportunity to LB3, but he died because he did not have the limit break button on his bars. And the final notable trial that I had was a battle on Big Bridge, which is Gilgamesh, where I had gotten targeted by minimum in the final phase. Then I got targeted by the Toad debuff. I had 1 global. Then I got targeted by the Toad debuff again, and before it could even expire, I had died because the healers had neglected to heal me. Anyways, that is my results of these trial roulettes. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.